Hello, my country people. Welcome back to the news. President Bola Tinubu received a temporary reprieve as the U.S. federal judge denied an urgent request to release the confidential documents compiled by the American law enforcement authorities. The motion, filed by the IT consultant Aaron Greenspan, sought the immediate release of the records related to Tinubu's residence in the United States. Now, Greenspan's request comes after he filed a Freedom of Information request in July 2022, urging the U.S. agencies to disclose Tinubu's record. However, Judge Barry Howell ruled against an urgent hearing, stating that Greenspan failed to justify the need for an expedited release of the highly sensitive and privileged document, emphasizing the need to protect Tinubu's privacy interests. Now, Greenspan's motion alleged that Tinubu attempted to delay the release of the documents to avoid their impact on the ongoing election dispute at the Nigerian Supreme Court. Tinubu's lawyers argued against the disclosure, citing concerns over privacy violations and other statutory rights. The lawsuit involved several U.S. agencies, including the Executive Office for the U.S. Attorneys, the CIA, the Department of State, the FBI, the Department of Treasury, and the International Revenue Service and Drug Enforcement Administration. Tinubu subsequently filed a motion to intervene in the case, seeking to prevent the disclosure of his confidential tax records and documents falling under the Privacy Act or expectations to fail. Judge Howell approved Tinubu's request to allow his lawyer, Christopher Carmichael, to appear in the case, but has not yet ruled on Tinubu's intervention motion. Greenspan's pursuit of these records aimed to shed light on Tinubu's real identity, particularly concerned the name he used when first traveling to the United States. The Nigerian president had a history of using conflicting identities in the past, and Greenspan hoped the records would provide clarity on this matter. The U.S. Department of Justice refrained from taking a stand on whether Tinubu should join the case or not. Matthew Graves, representing the government, indicated that Tinubu should be allowed to intervene as he has direct interest in the record sought, and his interests may not be fully represented or protected by the defendant. While the legal battle continues, the denial of an urgent release provides a temporary relief for President Bola Tinubu, allowing him and his legal team to further defend his privacy interests in complex and high-stakes legal situation. So that is it. The U.S. courts have denied the motion for the urgent release of, the president's confidential records as compiled by the FBI, CIA, and others. And yes, my country people, it's happening. We are yet to go, in full details of this Tinubu's FBI record because they are yet to release these records. But Tinubu has already filed a counter motion to, block this record from being released. And Nigerians are already relying on the U.S. authorities, for them to release these Tinubu's credentials. A lot of people have been relying on the U.S. because, the Nigeria's president, Bola Tinubu, has been put in a very tight position, and various people have been making several attempts to unravel the mystery behind his identity, even as the president's legal counsel has been struggling to stop the release of the FBI records that are connected to the past. People are calling for the release of these records for transparency, for accountability, How can the president's identity be shrouded in secrecy? Tinubu's lawyers, Tinubu's legal teams, they are just trying to make sure that these records, this credential doesn't get into the hands of Nigerians. But then, my country people, the lawyers representing Tinubu in the U.S. had filed motions to intervene in an ongoing freedom of information actions against various U.S. government agencies, including the FBI and the CIA. This action pertains to records that shed light on Bola Ahmed Tinubu's identity and his activities over the years. And we have, the defendants in the legal action. They include the FBI, the CIA, and other people. Now, this case of Tinubu's credentials is a sensitive case. But then we find it, strange that the lawyers of the president are filing motions to make sure that these credentials doesn't get released to the people. It is so strange because Tinubu needs to be open to the public. Tinubu needs to be open to the public, to Nigerians, especially given his role as the leader of over 200 million people. So people have been raising concerns over these records. That was how he did for his educational records. Even they've been casting doubts on his primary and secondary school, educational background. They've been casting doubts on Tinubu's identity as well, on Tinubu's past. So the recent attempt to uncover the truth behind Tinubu's past has faced a lot of legal hurdles because the president and his legal team, they are trying their best to make sure they block the process. And Nigerians have the right to be informed about the past records of their president. Nigerians need to gain insight into the character of the man they refer to as president. But President Bola Ahmed Tinubu appears to employ strategies to hinder these discoveries, which is really strange. And one may wonder, why is he doing all these things? Why? But then all these things actually contribute to tarnishing the reputation of this country, because other nations are certainly watching what the president and his legal team, what they are doing. So guys, what are your thoughts on this? I'm dropping here.